Alex Pereira has officially thrown down the gauntlet, calling out Jon Jones and expressing his desire to move up to heavyweight for a potential mega fight at the rumored White House UFC event. Joe Rogan couldn't contain his excitement over the news. Following Pereira's dominant performance against Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320, the MMA world was stunned when he publicly declared that Jon Jones is the man he wants to face next.
Essa é a melhor aposta?
Não, queria super luta.
No, I want a super fight.
Oh, super fight at heavyweight.
I can think of one.
Wow,
good,
Derek
probably
Lewis? It's Aspinall, man.
Bom, existe, Casa Branca, Jon Jones.
Jon Jones
Super luta.
at the White House.
Jon Jones, that's a super fight.
All right, so he's
Why not fight against Pereira, a guy who's the same age as you, and we walk around the same exact size? Pereira walks around at like 240, and he has magnificent accolades. Business-wise, it makes more sense. Fight the nobody that may be more dangerous, or fight the guy with all the accolades, who's incredibly dangerous.
Will we ever see Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira?
Possibility. I mean, Rogan is pushing me right now to try to make that fight. It's just, guys, Jon Jones is a whole nother. I consider Jon Jones the greatest combat fighter of all time. Jon Jones is the nastiest dude ever in the history. And Jon's got a dark side to him. He shoots guns. Jon Jones is a killer.
Not at light heavyweight. Not at a catchweight. Alex Pereira wants Jon Jones at full heavyweight, where the biggest and most dangerous fighters in the world compete. Pereira says he's ready for the challenge, ready to make history, and determined to become the first ever 3-division UFC champion. The MMA world can't stop buzzing about it. Fans everywhere are imagining what would happen if these two legends finally shared the octagon. But there's one catch: Dana White doesn't seem too eager. While he's praised Pereira's confidence and ambition, the UFC boss has also made it clear that he believes there's still unfinished business for Pereira in the light heavyweight division.
Like, he could really be the face of this organization at this point.
Yeah, people love him. People love the way he fights, and can't be bummed out with the way he performed this evening, so.
He seemed to tease that maybe he was going to go for a Jon Jones fight, but then kind of pulled it back after, learning about Arthur. Is him going to heavyweight something you would entertain at this point?
So today I was at work and had a bunch of meetings over there this afternoon, and I went over to the PI, and he was over in the PI. And I'm like, well, you're the last guy I expected to see here today. What are you doing here? And they're telling me, we want to fight at heavyweight. I said, how about we win tonight and focus on tonight, and then we could talk about, heavyweight. And I don't know. There's still fights here in this division, but we'll see. I mean, this guy has been an absolute stud for us. He's on vacation in Australia, flies over and fights because, somebody fell out. He fights when he's hurt. He doesn't care. He wants to fight everybody. He wants to move up to heavyweight.
What is your hesitation about him going up to heavyweight? He's mentioned it a few times in the past. He always wanted that Jon Jones fight. And I understand why maybe that fight wasn't appealing to you, but what is your reservations about sending him to heavyweight at this point?
Probably that he was a middleweight. He was a middleweight, and he's going to jump up 2 weight classes in the UFC. It's not like jumping up 2 weight classes in boxing. It's a big jump. Not that I have any reservations about it. I mean, the guy is he's in a division that there's still some interesting fights. I don't know. It's just I like the guy so much. We'll see. We'll have to talk about it. I just don't see why, unless he wants to retire, why throwing him in at heavyweight makes any sense. Other than I just end up saying he wants to do it so bad, I'll just say yes. I don't know.
Not only does he emote on Ankalaev afterwards and treat him like it was a walk in the park. A walk in the park. Let's talk about what really happened here. He started the fight and he's going inside low kick. Something that he did not do once or that much in the first fight between them. So you know what? The narrative from Pereira was, I was injured the first fight. That was the worst version of me that's ever showed up. And I was thinking, that's what all fighters say though. They're not just going to admit that the other guy's way better than them. So I was thinking, all right, Alex Pereira, these are excuses, but they were definitely legitimate excuses because he went shin to shin with Ankalaev, like Jan Blachowicz did. Remember, Ankalaev's a southpaw, as he is in this stance here. And what you may notice is he's not a southpaw here. And that's what it came down to. In the last fight, Ankalaev could remain southpaw for nearly the entire time. That's where he's comfortable, and that's what gives Alex Pereira problems. And Pereira was trying to do lead low kicks on Ankalaev's calf, and they weren't having nearly as much of an effect. Jan Blachowicz went shin to shin with Ankalaev and gave him a ton of problems.
They're all there behind the cage, just staring, just looking, all being very, very serious, very scary and very intimidating. Well, it obviously worked because Magomed Ankalaev just got flatlined, smoked, destroyed, beaten in 1 minute, 20 seconds. Now, all the talk of him coming in at 40%, maybe there was a little truth to that. I mean, we did talk about him being a little burnt out. We did talk about the schedule that he was on, which was kind of crazy. And certainly it looked like it did catch up to him in his last fight against Magomed Ankalaev. But he was right. There isn't going to be a third match. There isn't going to be a rubber match. Absolutely no way. Alex Pereira now is going to go into new challenges. If Magomed made it competitive, then maybe there would have been a talk of a third match. But it wasn't competitive. It was completely one-sided. It was one of the most vicious beatdowns we've ever seen. Alex Pereira now is a 3-time UFC champion. No UFC champion has ever lost a belt like that and then came back and got it in quick fashion and made it that easy. No champion's ever done that before, losing the belt, coming back again like that. And then when you look here at the record of Alex Pereira and what he's achieved, Joe Rogan and DC, they were talking about this all night, but it is insane.
Alex, you are back to being the champion. The belt is once again around your waist. But before we even talk about the fight, you're walking in a booth. We noticed that you were adjusting your foot inside the octagon. What really is going on there? And was this something before the fight or did it happen in the fight?
Yeah, I think this time it broke for sure. It started turning purple super quickly. But, you know, when I was throwing those low kicks, I saw that they were landing. You know, he changed his stances after the third kick, which is something that he didn't do in the last fight. It's something that I saw Jan Blachowicz did in the fight too. But as soon as I landed the first kick to his lead leg, I felt my foot.
You were aggressive really from the first moment on. Was the approach to go right at him, or was that something that you saw lead up to your right?
That was the plan in the first fight. You know, I wanted to go up and be aggressive. I told everyone I wasn't feeling well. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But, you know, I felt it was going to happen. You know, even this morning we went to breakfast at Big Romania. And we saw one of the guys from Power Slap who we saw last time on fight day as well. He had just lost that night. And today he was there and he just won. So I thought to myself, man, you know, last time he had lost, I lost, now he won. So everything is coming together.
You're going to have... Do things feel different? You've won the title before. You've been the champion in 2 divisions. Is something else happening?
To make all those around me happy, you know, all my fans, I feel all the love. At the press conference, the fans won't even let my opponent talk. So I feel that, and I want to give people joy. And even in Brazil, sometimes people say, oh, I wasn't watching the UFC anymore until you came and stuff. So I feel it, and I want to give back to these people.
Well, you're certainly doing that. Alex, now comes the part of my job that I have to do. That's always difficult because you just won the title once again. And we're already asking you about your next fight. But I talked to Carlos Ulberg and I talked to Yuri Prochazka after your fight. They both believe they're next in line. They both have their reasonings for it. If you get to play matchmaker as the champion, when do you fight? And who's your opponent?
You know, like I said up there, I had a whole speech prepared, but we all know what happened to Jon Jones' brother. So it's not even right to talk about that. We'll talk about that later, but I think I want to...
30. Pereira just absolutely ran through, and look, I was wrong. That's very, very, very impressive.
What were you impressed by in that sense?
I think that just he made some good adjustments technically, where he was putting him on the back foot a lot more than he was in the first fight. The first fight, it looked like, oh, he looks like he might shed a tear there, Yuri Prochazka. What's going on there? Yeah, in the first fight, he was kind of like guessing what Ankalaev was going to do constantly. Whereas in this fight, in the rematch, Pereira's just constantly keeping him guessing, walking him backwards, making him feel threatened, and Ankalaev just couldn't even get anything off. So Pereira's back.
I always ask it, but does he move to heavyweight now, or does he fight Yuri, or what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I'm sure that's his decision. He's the champ. He can decide whatever he wants.
Do you think he should fight Ankalaev again? Maybe that as an option. Give it a trilogy.
I mean, I would watch Alex Pereira fight. I would watch any of them fight anybody, but I think that's pretty cool the way he's just come back and beat him again. See what he wants to do next. Dropped him with the right. Usually you'll see him dropping with the left hooks, but this time he big right one bomb over the top.
Dana White added that there are still huge matchups waiting for Pereira in the light heavyweight division, and jumping up too early could throw off the UFC's current plans. Meanwhile, Jon Jones has stayed mostly silent, but if there's one thing fans know about Jones, it's that his silence usually means he's plotting something big. He's previously admitted that a fight with Pereira has always interested him. Even back when critics accused him of avoiding Tom Aspinall, Jones said Pereira's power and striking style was something he'd love to test himself against.
So fucking good, dude, but like Alex just has that thing that like comes once in a lifetime. Like Chuck Liddell had it. There's some guys that just have that death punch. That's Alex. And I'll give you an example. So I'm sparring with Alex in Connecticut, and we're having a fucking war, dude. We're doing 3 hard rounds, and I somehow managed not to get hit with any big shots. And I like walking away real like I'm dead tired. I'm walking away really good. And they bring in this pretty high-level wrestler, and this guy is just fucking mauling Alex on round 4. Mind you, this guy's fresh. Me and Alex just had a 3-round fucking war, and this man is just mauling Alex, throwing overhands, has him in his cage, and about like halfway through the round, Alex just like touches him with an uppercut, and the round's done. And then Alex just like, I mean, he could have fucking blew on him and knocked him over. And just like that kind of power, it just, I mean, you got to be like, what, a 6'4" giant fucking Brazilian, I guess.
What I know Ankalaev spent a lot of time in here over the years. Like, what was kind of that situation like for you? Was it a bit awkward? Like, was Alex trying to pick your brain? Or?
You know, no, I mean, I love working with Alex. Alex is one of those guys who were like, if you tell him any tad bit of advice, he absorbs it, he drills it, you know. And no, Ankalaev, dude, like Ankalaev's my boy. And I think Ankalaev is probably like, you know, as far as like ability and skill goes, he's probably one of the best in the world. Like, the guy can fucking fight. I've trained with him. Like, if he were to write a book on MMA, dude, it's a big fucking book. It's a big fucking book. But Alex just has that. He has that little secret sauce, man, that Ankalaev just doesn't have it, dude. But I'm also kind of stoked that, like, I feel like Alex is like an honorary American, you know? So, like he lives in America, he trains in America, he likes guns, you know, likes pussy. Like, he's a good, like, honorary American. So it's really nice to fucking, you know, have like adopted American have the fucking champion, dude, from fucking, no offense, Ankalaev, man, I really like you, dude, but, you know.
There's no male American champions right now in the UFC who are actually born here.
I know. Well, I mean, Kayla, you know, has anybody checked that?
A potential fight between Alex Pereira and Jon Jones would be nothing short of a clash of champions, a true war between 2 of the most dangerous men in MMA. On one side, you have Pereira, a cold, calculated knockout machine who's been steamrolling everyone in his path. On the other, Jon Jones, a master tactician who's built his legacy by outclassing the greatest fighters in the world. Joe Rogan summed it up perfectly on his podcast. If the UFC ever manages to make Pereira versus Jones happen, it would go down as one of the biggest fights in MMA history. But Rogan also made an interesting point. No matter who wins that fight, their next challenge would be even tougher: Tom Aspinall. According to Rogan, Aspinall is the most complete heavyweight on the planet right now, faster than anyone in the division, incredibly powerful, and technically brilliant. He even said, if Pereira or Jones move up, they're entering Tom Aspinall's world, and that's a dangerous place to be. And this is where things get wild. Pereira wants to move up. Jones wants a blockbuster comeback fight. Dana White doesn't completely trust Jones but knows he can't turn down a matchup that big. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall stands at the top of the mountain, watching everything unfold, waiting for whoever dares to challenge him next. So the question is, what happens now? Will Pereira take the leap and convince Dana to make the Jones fight happen at the White House card? Or will Aspinall's dominance finally force Jones to face the reigning heavyweight king? One thing's for sure, as Joe Rogan put it, this might just be the most exciting moment the UFC has seen in years. And no matter how it plays out, all roads lead straight to Tom Aspinall.